Hello and welcome to episode 1 of 2022 Spaceman Days. I only did 3 videos last year and the year before, so I'm going to try and do a bit more this year. But today I'm on the hunt for kingfishers. See you in a bit. So if you're someone who's always tried to take pictures of kingfishers, you know they're quite hard to get. They're actually, although you see close-up photos of them a lot, they're actually about the size of a robin, so they're pretty small and they don't tend to hang about if you're nearby. So today I'm lucky enough to get access out of hours to Leeds Castle in Kent, which I shoot quite a lot here, and I'm going to use the Canon Connect app remotely to try and get as close as I can with the camouflaged camera and see what results I can get. So for me, the best time to try and take pictures of kingfishers is early in the morning, after the night when they're a bit hungry, and sometimes after rain as well, I think, because it's harder for them to hunt, so they're a bit more hungry. That's my feeling anyway. So I'm here just before the sun comes up to set up, then I can set up and sit quietly, wait for half an hour or so for the sun to come up and see what I can get. And the most important thing for anyone trying to take pictures of kingfishers is actually familiarize yourself with the sound they make. It's a very high-pitched sound. You can look it up, there's lots of apps, or obviously just YouTube it or whatever. One thing that really gives them away, because they tend to make the sound as they approach and land on a perch, so using your ears is actually sometimes better than your eyes because they're so quick. Anyway, I'm going to go and set up. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I've set up my camera and I shall show you now. So I've used a poncho that I have to blend it in as best I can, and this perch here has been here for a long time. A few years that perch has sat there and it's become part of the kingfisher's life and routine. It's not a natural perch in terms of a lovely branch, but sometimes nature just uses what it can find, and that post has been there for longer than I've been coming to Leeds Castle, and as I say, the kingfishers have been using it. So I'm set up. I'll show you how far away I am now. And one of the great things about here and setting up this way is that I can use my 24-105 lens, which is an f4, which actually is a lot better than my 100-500 in terms of light, because that starts at 7.1 at the full range at 500 mil, so I can get really close, hopefully lots of light and hopefully really sharp. But I've never done it this way using the Canon Connect on a wildlife shot before. I've set it at high speed shooting. I have to set the light and all of that for now, but I can control that using the app. So let's see what happens. As you can see, if I turn the camera around, quite far away from it. The Canon Connect app is working quite well. I can control it really well. All the different settings I need to control, including flicking from photo to video, so I might be able to get some nice real video. But I'm also about, I'd say, 10 meters away, 12 meters away, which I wouldn't be able to get a decent shot for sure, but it gives me enough space, so I'm far enough away to not upset the kingfisher if he or she or both actually arrive. Now, of course, one of the main problems with doing it this way is that you have to set up a tripod quite close to the perch. and although it's camouflaged, it's not the normal thing, so it might put the kingfishers off. Generally, I've been in hides and mobile hides very close to perches, and you know, as long as you're sat there quietly and not making any noises, they seem okay. So this is one of the main problems with bird photography, and particularly with things like kingfishers, is you will sit, and I will sit here probably for at least 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and not get a single shot. And I've got a lot of lovely shots of perches with nothing on them. But we'll see how it goes. And one final thing before I settle down properly is that you've got to remember with kingfishers, they have quite a large territory for a small bird, so you do sit and wait for a long time, but there is a good chance that they will loop round if you know and you've done your research into where they perch, where they fly, where they hunt in general. At Leeds Castle, there's a lot of room. There's a big amount of grounds, canals, and all different types of water that they fly around. So in my experience, often there seems to be sort of an hourly rotation, so they'll be down in one area feeding, hunting, and they'll swing by a different area about every hour. That's just my experience here. Obviously that's not any kind of rule, and of course if they get a good feed, they may well sit, digest and preen for some time, which means they might not necessarily be flying around. And of course the problem with that is you're sitting not really knowing until you hear that lovely kingfisher sound if they're going to come or not. So be patient. Bird photography, in fact any wildlife photography, realistically that's probably the number one thing. You can't expect to get the best shots if you're out for a very short period of time, and you haven't done your research and you don't know much about the animal you're trying to take a picture of. It makes it much harder. So yeah, bit of patience and we'll see how I get on. Okay, been here a while now, and because the light's slightly better, I've actually moved the tripod back and changed to my 100 to 500, which you'll see by this screenshot, that you get a lot more depth of field, because I'm now at around about, I don't know what I put it at now, about 400 mil. So we get a really nice background, obviously slightly less light than the f4 from the 24 to 105, but it means I've been able to move the whole setup back a bit and away from the perch. So now it's another bit of waiting. So unfortunately today, no luck, and I think that just shows you really, I think the reality of wildlife photography sometimes is missed when you look at Instagram and everyone sees such amazing pictures. But the reality is 3 hours, lots of equipment, research into where the kingfishers are and live and feed, and still no shot. So for those of you looking for lovely kingfisher shots and were now really disappointed, here's some shots I've taken in the past. And if you'd like to see more videos where I fail at taking pictures of birds, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. See ya.